Hello and welcome to our little corner of the internet where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals and journaling, just about anything and everything that's going to keep you inspired. Welcome to the live Hemingway Jones Fountain Pen Show. Tonight we do have a special guest I will announce shortly. You may have seen it on the thumbnail that Alexandra Art and Sanity will be joining us shortly as kind of like a co-host tonight, so it should be fun. She is, of course, the most controversial person in the fountain pen community. No, she's actually really nice, but wouldn't it be fun if she were? So we'll bring her on shortly. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I see them flying by. It helps the YouTube algorithm. Thanks so much, guys. Do want to make some announcements before I bring Alexandra on, and I also want to mention tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is how to incorporate fountain pens into your life more. Maybe you've thought of all these things, maybe you haven't. But, you get your fountain pen, maybe it's your first one, maybe you've had them for years like me, and you just want to integrate it and incorporate it into your life as much as possible. That's kind of where the conversation will be structured around with Alexandra. So I also want to mention that there is a Zoom call coming up for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members on the 14th. That's 4 days from now, which is Saturday, 4 p.m. Boston time. So if you'd like to be on that Zoom call, then you want to be an Illuminati or Cognoscenti level member. So consider it. Joining us. Help to keep the lights on. The lights are blaring bright tonight through the generosity of all the lovely members, many of which are here. I see you guys in the chat. Every week there's a chat. People can catch up and comment on what we're doing. So it's a lot of fun to have this exchange. And I think a Zoom meeting is a lot more, even more immediate because I can speak to people one-on-one. So that should be fun. It's going to be about an hour long this Saturday. So taking a break from all the getting ready for Christmas goings on. So if you're watching every week, I would invite you to subscribe. We talk about a lot of different topics. The live show is a bit more free. I usually try to have some kind of structure. Sometimes we have some guests. Sometimes it's deeply personal and philosophical. Sometimes it's very trite and about, cultural references and how fountain pens relate to something or another. So if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, please do. That way you can keep up on what's going on here. I'd appreciate it. And we're very close to 20,000 people with us on this journey. So that should be super exciting if we hit that milestone. So I am looking forward to that. Okay. So another thing I want to mention is that I do have a discount code for our friends at Atlas Stationers. It's HJ10. So the letter H, J10. And the channel doesn't get anything for that. That's simply for you to get 10% off at Atlas. I just want you guys to have it. And then I also mentioned that I've been putting a link in the description for the live show with my Amazon influencer page. God help me. But it's another way if you do want to support the channel. I do put some things up there. A lot of books that I really like and I read and I've recommended to you are on that page. Things like Cape Cod wipes, which I use to restore gold on fountain pens, and Polywatch, which I use to restore fountain pens. So the nail clippers I famously talk about all the time, which I always have within arm's reach of me at all times. These Victorinox ones, which I absolutely adore. And I think everyone should have these. They even have a little clip for your keychain. That's on there. Loops, things like that. And I'd never push you to buy something, but just if you've seen things on the channel and you were interested in them, it's a way to help the channel out. But no pressure. I'm not here to sell you things. I'm here to discourage you from buying things most of the time. I want to talk briefly about the video that's coming this week and what has just passed. I hope you all got to see the Should You Travel with $1,000 Mont Blanc fountain pen video that came out last Thursday. It was a blast to make that video. I took a Mont Blanc 147 with me to Italy, and I filmed some really pretty B-roll. Let me correct that record. My wife and my daughter filmed some really beautiful B-roll, so I think you'd appreciate that, to see Florence and what it's like to journal in Ponte Vecchio and all the various places that we were. There's another video coming up shortly that's very much Venice themed. So Venice is its own standalone, but I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun. I think it had a little surprise twist ending, which maybe a lot of people weren't expecting, because I always make a call in my videos. I always say whether or not what I did is a good idea, whether or not you should try it too. So certainly traveling with an expensive pen has some considerations, and I think I addressed them all. Speaking of dressing, I'd like to address the lovely Rick Harsh with a $5 Canadian Super Chat. Thank you. Bought another pen, a Lamy 2000. I am getting addicted. Well, Rick, that happens to many of us. And, I always say enjoy each purchase. Get to know your pens. Spend some time with them. Get to know their idiosyncrasies and all their little foibles and quirks and everything else. So enjoy every minute of the journey and buy at your own pace. Never feel that you have to buy something because somebody like me makes it look really sexy and interesting. But thank you for that super chat. Helps keep the lights on. So thank you. So this week is a very exciting video. I hope you guys like this. This video is, I'll tell you why it's so interesting. So it's a pen that recently came out. So it's a new fountain pen. I loved the look of it. So I asked Joost Appelboom if he would send me one. And he did, which is lovely of him. Such a generous guy, a friend of a channel from Appelboom Pens. Joost and I, we talk all the time. He's a good friend, so I really appreciated that. So I'm not going to tell you which pen it is, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the video that's coming. So when I looked at this thing, the narrative that came to me, and all these videos have narratives. So the one that came to me here is that this looks like a weapon. It looks like some kind of a knife or something. And I was like, is this the fountain pen of an action hero? And I made a video and I interspersed a bunch of John Wick movie scenes and quotes and things. So it has a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. And what's cool is that you haven't seen too many of some of my new video editing techniques that are coming. The one last week had some because I edited it fairly recently. And this one I just finished over the weekend. And I put it ahead. I usually don't. I usually push them out 2 months. That's how far out I'm posting. But because it's a new pen, I wanted to get it out there before all the buzz died down. And also, it was just so fun. It was too fun with all the John Wick movie quotes and scenes and integration. Wait until you guys see this. I really think you're going to like it. And I'll tell you some secrets about it too. Some of my editing, which I think you'll appreciate it. Probably in a coming week. Scott! Great Scott! With a $5 super chat. Thank you. I'm rounding up. $4.99. But thank you. Fun fact. I found the Tom Wolfe book over your shoulder in a free library at the park. Immediately recognized the spine and took it home. That's brilliant. Interesting that you should mention Tom Wolfe, Scott, because I had a brilliant conversation with a lovely chap by the name of Alex who is the archivist for Esquire magazine. And he's working on something. He asked my opinion on some things, and we ended up chatting for probably about an hour and a half last night, maybe an hour. I feel like I have a friend in Alex now. But one of the things we were talking about is Tom Wolfe. So you're going to see something on this channel, probably 2.5 months from now, but it's coming on Tom Wolfe. So it should be interesting. So thank you. Thank you. And thanks for the super chat. Super chats are awesome. So don't miss the is it a weapon or is it a fountain pen video this week. I think it will be a lot of fun for you. Okay. So now is the scariest part of the show, because I have to introduce Alexandra. I hope she's in a good mood. She's very, as I said, controversial and kind of scary. So let's hope she's in good form tonight. But of course, she's Alexandra from Alexandra's Art and Sanity all around the web. We'll have her speak a little bit about that and kind of introduce herself. And then we're going to get into our main topic, which is how to incorporate them into your life. Now, the real reason that I'm a little nervous about bringing her in is that it's eCam. Will it work? So let's see if it works. If technology will work for a change. For me, I am... Oh, there's two of me. Well, that didn't work. Let's try something else. I'm not sure why there's two of me. Just give me a minute. I'm sure I'll sort this out. Although, wow, my narcissism when having two of me is really brilliant. Okay. There's two of me, one of you. I got to figure out how to get rid of one of me. See, this is eCam. Why is there one of me and not one of you? So I really don't know. Okay. Let me see. Solo. Hold on, I might bring you back. Hold on. There we go.
There we go.
Look at you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. This is the second time that we've met.
This is. Though we text fairly frequently.
We do. We text all the time. You're one of the people I talk to the most in this hobby of ours.
Yes, it is not uncommon for us to text, I would say probably 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah, I would say that. Exactly. And why don't you tell everyone your YouTube address, where they can find you? I know you're on YouTube and Instagram. You may be elsewhere.
So I guess I can leave a comment and you can share my comment to the screen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
I think so.
Okay.
I've just made a comment in chat.
In chat. Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, there we have it. Yeah, Alexandra's Art and Sanity, as I said. I just want to make sure we got it right for you. I probably should put it in the description, so I will do that. And I'm really bad at these things, but I'm trying to be better. But it's because it's just me. It's just you, too, right? We put on a lot on ourselves.
So for the next... my brother's up for the next couple days. I've got my best friend, who's basically my sister. And I'm putting them both to work in the studio. There are some projects that need to get done, and I'm like, you're going to arrive for Christmas, and you're going to be put to work.
Oh, nice. See, that'll help you catch up. I think I'm going to take some time off, at least at the end of the month, because I don't want to get burned out either, and I want to pace myself. And I'm already kind of scheduled out for a while. So I think I can eat up some of that time. But it's a lot. I'm working more and more in my actual career. And then I film all weekend. And then I edit Sunday night into Monday night. And it's a lot. One person.
Yeah. So I've just started filming season 3 of 20 Questions. And so it's nice. Filming those interviews, getting the last of season 2 edited, while also getting all the normal content up, plus episodes of Desk Chatter, which is the podcast that I do. Luckily, it's only every other week. I don't know how you put on a live show every week.
Sometimes I wing it. I don't know if people realize that, but there are literally times when I'm not sure of the topic. I come up with it the day before, and then I'll say to my wife, came up with this great title, but I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. And then I'm driving home from work, and it just all comes to me.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's like all the there are so many right now behind the scenes pen projects that I can't talk about at all.
All right.
And so it's like there's all this, there's probably 15 to 20 hours a week in the studio of stuff that I just can't talk about.
Oh, sure. Hey, Matt asked whether or not we're related. Do we look alike?
We aren't, but we seem to match tonight.
Yeah,
As I
we
was
kind
sitting
of
in the
match.
green room, I went, people would think we talked about outfits tonight, and we really didn't.
Exactly. I'm a huge you might know this from my Instagram. I'm a huge collector of sweaters, jumpers. I have a huge vintage Dale of Norway sweaters, all kinds. I love sweaters. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah,
Oh, you're getting a
for
lot of
me,
positive press here.
yeah, the season of Christmas plaid is short, and so
Right? I
I'm
wear it
embracing
anyway.
it.
I wear these all winter. To me, it's not a Christmas thing, it's a winter thing. You know?
Yeah.
Well, let's get into.
I have a small but very dedicated audience, I would say. I've got
You oh, I think you have. I mean, you've grown so much on
yeah.
YouTube, so
Oh
that's
yeah.
fantastic. That's not
I'm
easy. I
I'm
think
about
that YouTube followers are equal to like 10 times the same amount of followers elsewhere.
yeah, I'm about to hit 4,000. I'm about
Yeah, that's
150 away.
fantastic. I think it took me 6 years to do that.
I feel less bad.
Yeah, no, actually, I've only been on YouTube for 3, but it I don't know how long it took me to do that, but it was a long time. I remember my year anniversary, it was like 2,500. But then like something just kind of kicked. Sometimes that happens. I've never gone viral though. I've had a virus, but I've never gone viral.
Yeah, the most popular video I had I had less than 100 subscribers at the time, and it was on a watercolor pigment, and it's still my most popular video.
Nice.
And of like long form content, and I think it's got almost 12,000 views.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's huge. Like considering that and all, but like there are some folks that have like 1 million views on things. But you know what? It's about the people and it's about the connections. It's not about the views. If we did it for that, we wouldn't be doing it.
No.
Right? We're going to start our topics though, because we're going to talk about everything while we do it. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds excellent.
Wonderful. So it is how to incorporate and integrate fountain pens into your life, because it's something I always think about. And I mean, for some of us, we've just been doing it for so long, but I do get a lot of comments, even from experienced people saying, how can I use my pens more? And I am not above saying, well, contrive reasons, because they are so central to us. I always have them around me, several around me. One of the things I was thinking that's very, very important, I think it's a nice topic for you to address as well, is if you're not doing it, oh, geez, please start journaling. Right? How important is that to you?
So I would say I go through periods that it's more important.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm in a phase where I have a fairly impressive day timer.
Ooh, let's see it. Let's see what you're rocking. Oh, okay. Nice.
It's not advertised as being fountain pen friendly.
Okay.
But as long as you don't use anything that's like Tesla coil from Birmingham Pen Company.
One of my favorites.
Works great.
Okay, that's good.
And it's available on Amazon. It's the second year I'm using it.
I'm not a fan of spirals, to be honest.
Let's open a page that doesn't.
They get beat up with me. They get flattened. They end up sort of unrolling, unraveling.
What I like is that it's undated.
Oh, yeah. I like the separation, though, too. Look at the space there between the pages.
It's got, every week has that layout. and it works quite
Gotcha.
well.
And you journal in that? So you like write a few lines?
So I'll like day I'll like plan out my day in it, but then if like stuff happens, I'll make notes.
Okay.
I'm right now in like a jot notes phase of journaling.
Okay.
There have been very long periods of time that I've kept a very detailed journal. Uh, that's not happening right now, and so
Gotcha. Tom Morley's a Tesla coil fan. Occasionally I'm going to put comments up and I'll read them. I don't know if you can see them or not, but it's always a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, there
I
you go. You got the chat. You're probably better at it than I am. I try to keep an eye on both, but I have a show to run. I wish I had a producer that could say, "Hey, look at that." Someday. Um, Journaling, I, like you, go through phases. And I was thinking that my first journals, I shouldn't say first, but the journals that survived, because I was journaling back in the late 80s and the 90s. The one I still have is from 1999. It's a little sporadic, and then 2000. And then after that, I really started to journal regularly. And it was in part to practice handwriting and to use my pen. Which, by the way, if you want to integrate pens into your life, another way is to practice your handwriting. And it's good to write about something and just not nonsense. I think nonsense is kind of like the difference between going to a gym and doing 100 curls, which can get monotonous after years, or rock climbing, where you're using your body, or yoga, and you're not thinking about it. It's my personal feeling. Some people love the gym, which is okay. But I was initially doing these very basic journal posts. Today was a bad day. It was like windy, and I spent $10 at Dunkin' and $30 at the Chinese takeout place. And it was almost tracking my finances and my goals and things. It was sort of that like alpha male style of journaling, if I can express it that way. And that went on for some time, and there's still some really good stuff in there because there were a lot of feelings on what's going on in the world and all that. I could look at events like 9/11, what I thought about it, and things like that. And then, as many people know in this channel, I really wrestled with mental health. In 2010, went through a real severe depressive episode where it was existential, and I knew I needed a turnaround plan. And I went to the journal, or the journal called me, and I just unloaded on it. I just confessed to my journal, and doing that day after day, and trying to keep myself afloat, I started to see a narrative emerge. And then I started to realize that this is data, that I'm exposing my internal geography. And this is data and feelings and connections that I can weave a narrative to learn about myself and why this happened and how I can prevent it from happening again. And since then, my journals take on more of that flavor, where it's me making connections and kind of assessing my mental state, because I think if you go through that, you live in fear of it happening again, even though I'm 14 years away from it. All right, I've been talking way too long, but what do you think about that?
So your comment about data had me looking up. I've got a whole stack of traveler's notebooks
Mm-hmm.
because those are what I just keep. I call them brain dump notebooks. I always
Sure.
have a brain dump notebook, and it might just be like a random list for the day. But I also keep one that is all of my baking notes. We're all big cooks in the family. I have a cousin who's
Mm.
a private chef. We were raised in the kitchen. Um, but I have a number of food allergies, and so it's oftentimes like we have to alter recipes. And so
Sure.
when we make those alterations, like I make notes, and I make notes on what alterations I've made. And then if it's been a big weekend in the kitchen, I will make really detailed notes about all my likes and dislikes, about like how everything went. So I guess I do journal, but like not about like typical things. I
Gotcha. It's kind of
journal about,
embedded in a different structure almost.
yeah, I
Hmm.
journal about the things that I actually sort of need to keep track of. if
You
that makes
know,
sense.
it does make sense. I like that you mentioned recipes because I'm I always got it back to kind of to our main topic too, because I want people to feel that they're getting a lot out of this time.
Yeah.
Um, One of the ways I think you can really integrate fountain pens into your life is by recipe cards, and they're so very nice. They're so
Use waterproof ink for your recipe cards.
yeah, that's a good idea. You ever notice like our nonis use like pencils, you know, um, but they always had the best handwriting. So they're kind of these time capsules too. I think recipes are in a way. I think I guess I don't want to fall too far down the rabbit hole of food because I don't know as much about it as you do. I'm sure to be interesting, but in the 1980s, it was exotic to go out for Chinese food where I grew up in Philadelphia. You went mostly to Chinatown for Chinese food, and we've had in the United States, of course, had this sort of revolution in food over the last 40 years where the general population is much more adventurous and there's all sorts of cuisines, which is brilliant. So I think that's probably chronicled within people's recipes and how they're looking at food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, here's a question I see I'm going to answer if you'll excuse me 1 second. From Ron McGrath, the book there behind you, The Magic of Handwriting. Where can I find that book? So I think this is Toshin. Yeah, it's Toshin. You know, Toshin just kind of publishes, but this is the English version. Very tough to find the English version. So search for it. Have you seen this one? It's called The Magic of Handwriting, and it's actually really great because it has different examples
Oh, that
of
looks utterly
handwriting.
Fabulous.
Yep. And
You might have to send me a better picture of the cover so I can go
sure.
looking for it.
If anybody wants to hit pause, there it is. Okay. Always like to share that with people because it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant book. So, the other thing I think in talking about carrying a fountain pen with you at all times helps you to integrate it into your life. I right now am carrying a Waterman Karen and a Mont Blanc 147 in Bordeaux. What's your go ahead?
You carry in a Lockbee.
I don't always carry my
sometimes.
Lockbee.
Okay.
Yeah, the Lockbee comes with me when I film and when I go to museums and stuff. It's one that I use to kind of gather an experience, but I don't carry it day in and day out.
Okay. Whereas I do carry this day in.
Oh, nice.
It is
what
a
is
Galen
that?
leather. It's a Galen
Nice.
leather slip and zip.
Oh, I like the idea of that.
I know. And I have things shoved in mine. So it always comes with the card for your 4 pens.
Okay.
I also have a brass combination tool and one of the mini Esterbrook blotting paper sheets because you never know when something's just not going to dry, and clearly many things have not dried.
Oh yeah.
Pen-wise though, I'm sort of like, because I pack this every day for my purse, I sort of grab whatever I feel like. And so this week it has been a Navaler Desert Horizon. The video on this just came out.
Pretty pen.
And
is it heavy? Navalars are heavy.
So the cap is heavier than the pen. Not that I've weighed it, but like just sitting in my hand, the cap feels heavier than the pen.
Gotcha.
So I don't post it, but I do really like it's. I don't know. It's got a similar feel to an S.
Can you post it? Most of theirs you can't. Okay, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just find it too heavy. It's really backweighted if you post it.
I can see that.
I don't. And then an Esterbrook SD Cobalt with the mini stub nib.
Oh, ooh, well done. I like that. Mm-hmm. Pretty.
They just re-released the color as a limited run. And it's super pretty.
That is pretty.
Yeah. It might be my favorite SD color.
Did you see the purse pens video?
I did see the purse pens video.
What would you recommend for the best purse pen
So
and why?
Mom is very partial to her brass sports. I don't
Yep.
like a metal pen. I find them too heavy. I'm always going to say a regular CoHost sport. You can
Okay.
get a huge variety of nibs for them.
Yeah, and
But
they're
this,
good. They're good tolerances.
yeah, this is new to my collection. It's an Esterbrook JR.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like that. I have the
Uh,
coffee version.
yeah, it's a fairly solid pen. It's
Yeah,
very nice. I've only had it for a couple weeks,
I call it
but
a
so
junior.
far,
Like I know it's a JR, but I still call it a
yeah,
junior. I refuse.
so far I really like it. There are
Yeah,
other
it's nice.
pens that are like fall into the pocket category.
Hmm. Well,
Um,
per specifically, like, would you toss a Kaweco just and let it swim
oh,
around in there and fight with your keys and your Galen leather
oh yeah.
bag and all that
Like
stuff?
I have a one of like the like card card pockets in your purse. I don't
Okay,
know what
sure.
it's actually called.
I think it's
Is
called a
now my
card pocket.
yeah. I
It
don't
is
know if
now.
that was its original use though in this
Sure.
bag. Is now my is where pens get tossed. Uh,
Oh, gotcha.
and it does bug a lot of people that I'm not precious with my pens. If you've watched my channel, you've probably seen that I don't. There's a very impassionate rant a couple weeks ago because somebody said, "Don't you care about micro scratches on your pens?" And I went, "No, they're writing tools."
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too far off from you. Like, I care
Right.
sometimes and sometimes I don't. I agree that they're writing tools. There's some that I take better care of than others. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like,
care
go ahead.
about I care about this one, great
Sure.
grandfathers. I care about this one, grandfathers. I care
Right.
about my grandmothers upstairs. But at the end of the day, everything else in my collection is just an item that I either purchased or was sent to me. And so
Yeah, yeah,
it
no, I know what you mean, but sometimes things bother me and sometimes they don't. I'll give you an
yeah.
example. My Mont Blanc Origins 100-year fountain pen.
Okay.
I don't want to mess that one up. So I
That's
wrote
fair.
with it for a couple weeks and then I cleaned it and I put it away after I filmed with it. And it's pretty much been away. And I'm sure I'll get curious about it and I'll break it out and write with it again. My regular 149, which I carried exclusively for like 3 or 4 years, was micro scratched to death because it's been everywhere with me. And one
Yeah.
day I was on a phone call and I had Polywatch on a rag because I had restored one of my other ones. I forget which. It might have been my Bohem. And I just started rubbing the 149 and it restored it back to like factory condition. And I regretted it. And I did it sort of subconsciously, which I often do with things because I'm a fiddler. When I get anxious sometimes I'll start like if like I have a pocket knife here, I'll start playing with it and oil it up and get it to like move different and
I've
stuff
been
like that.
doing this our entire call.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you can imagine absentmindedly like cleaning something and polishing it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me recognize David Parsons with a $5 super chat, keeping the lights on. Thank you very much. He says, I take fountain pens to class with me each day. Students see them, ask questions, and get interested in good writing, learning cursive, etc. Great teaching tools. I agree, my friend. And that's another way, kind of integrate them into your life is by
Yeah.
being an evangelical fountain pen user and actively trying to convert people to the cause.
Like I just I don't know. I use mine. I don't I'd
Yeah.
say I'm looking at all the pens I've got inked up for the month, and the only one I probably wouldn't toss into my pen is this eyedropper Banu, and that's purely because if something were to happen to it, it would be such a disaster to clean all
Such a
this ink out of
mess.
my purse.
Yep. Yes.
That's the reason. But like other than that, it's like should you be putting an SD just like in a pocket of your purse without a sleeve? Probably not. Have I done it? Yeah. Will I do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, I like that though too, because I think that a lot of times people are a bit too precious. And some folks want to just kind of keep them on your desk. And I think fountain pens are better when you get a little sunlight on them. Get them out in the field, make a mistake with it, regret something. but maybe push the envelope a little bit. And they're pretty tough. They'll come home.
Yeah.
I've only ruined a couple of them in the 30 years I've been playing with them.
My rule of thumb is like, once my PR pictures for a brand of them are done, like I get to use them how I would actually use them. Until the
Well, even
PR pics,
before, like,
well, like I try and keep them like scratch free until I've done pics
yeah,
for a brand. Like I want to keep them really nice, and then once I've done what I need to do for a brand, it's like, okay, now you can be tossed in a purse.
good for you. Because I notice a lot of times I shoot in high res 4K, and I watch all my videos on the big screen, and there's always like a cat hair that creeps in or something, and I just leave it. It's rare when I actually go in and say, okay, I'm going to redo that cut based on dirt. One of the things I do intentionally is I actually prefer messy nibs. I think visually, a nib with ink, either little droplets or smear, is more interesting than just a shiny, clean one visually.
Yeah, so I prefer if I can get a nib that looks purposefully messy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
luck with that.
I'm not
But
that
like
aesthetic, but good for you.
sometimes I'll have a nib like it's just like for whatever reason like it's like creeping up through the split,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it doesn't look as good on camera, and so it's like, okay, we're shooting this in like 30-second increments as I clean the nib
Mm-hmm.
between every single
And I
thing
do
I'm
that
saying.
sometimes. I do keep microfiber, but something always gets through. My average cut's about 4 to 6 seconds in my videos. That's what makes it so hard to edit. I don't
Yeah.
think people realize that, but if you watch one of mine, there's a cut. You can almost count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There'll be like a cut.
Yeah, a lot of my cuts are I would most of my videos I try and do with no cuts. And if I do have
That's
to cut,
amazing.
it's, I've screwed up on a single word and then I've gone back and resaid the word. And so it's second, or it's like less than 2 seconds. And those cuts, they're so finicky. Like I need to give myself more time when I have to do those cuts because they're just annoying to do.
No, they are. But sometimes mine are a little more. I mean, I do some. I have one coming up that's 1 or 2 cuts. Well, actually, it was shot in one from one perspective, and then I just made it shorter to make it more interesting. Um, it's on inks, and I don't want to give anything away, but when you guys see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to throw out another way to integrate fountain pens into your life, and it's to make to-do lists.
Yep.
And I think to-do lists are an art form. And there's few things as satisfying as crossing off a to-do list. Is this something you do?
I do.
Oh,
I'm a
nice.
big fan. I'm a big fan of the to-do list. I wish I could find a brand of fountain pen friendly sticky notes
Oh,
because
we have some at
I
work because I write. It's our branded ones for our bank,
uh,
and I can write. I don't know where they come from, but they're decent.
post-its. Post-its are not a
They're,
fan of fountain pens. Actually, the non-recycled post-its are better than the recycled post-its,
mm,
but post-its not super fountain
not so
pen
good,
friendly.
huh?
Which is sort of annoying because I am a big fan of post-it notes. But
Mm,
like lists are a big thing. I'm
they're
constantly
big.
making lists.
And I do it at work. I have this system at work. As you probably know, I'm in banking, and
Mhm.
my notes, I don't want to lose them because sometimes even weeks after I go back wanting to know something I discussed on a telephone call or something or another. So I keep it in a ledger book, and they're bound, and they're not very good, which is really a shame. I was buying the ones from Levenger, and they're not that, for the price, they're just not that good. My attorney was giving them to me, so I was using them because they were free. And then I used them up, and then I bought one, and I'm like, why am I using these? They're not that good. But I like the idea of a ledger book, so I just bought a different brand, and I'm hope it's better than Levenger, which are just dreadful. But as a thing, it's great because all your to-do lists are in there. All your conversations, if you're like me, I'm on the phone with someone, I'm writing quick notes of what the phone call was about. There's a date and a time, so
Mm.
I can refer back to it. And it's another way to integrate fountain pens into your life, but also to have this great day by day real journal in real time of what you were doing and what your priorities were then.
Yeah. So I need to do something like that. Right now, I keep all of my work notes for brands from meetings in the back of this
Mm.
because there's pages and pages of dot paper, which is
Oh.
great until you're like trying to go back and look for something and you're like, when did I actually meet with them?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Hmm. I I'm not that conscientious with brands of things. Maybe I need to be. I always envy people that write down like these are my pens that are inked and which ink I have in there. The way that I know which ink is in one of my pens is I just start writing with it and I guess if it's not one of the ones that I normally use because most of my pens have diamine oxblood, eclat de saphir, or pearl noir in them. But
Yeah.
occasionally one will have like Bleu Fonder or Mont Blanc Midnight Blue, and then I'm like, I'm not really sure which one that is unless I think about
If it wasn't for the fact that I put out a quasi monthly inked video,
it.
I
Hmm.
would have no idea the inks in my pens. Uh,
Also,
but
like
it's
80% of mine are inked.
oh, this is the current pile of uninked but clean.
Oh, okay, that's something.
Um, because that was last week's task. Last week's task was the bathroom counter is covered in pens. I need to fix that.
Wow. Oh, with the cleaning. Yeah. See, I don't leave them around. I leave them overnight sometimes, but I don't leave them around. The cat would probably knock them off. She can be naughty.
I'm not gonna clean just one pen. If I'm putting in the
Oh,
effort to
really?
clean pens, I'm cleaning 15 to 20 pens at a time. We're
Wow.
doing them all at once, and
Well, I'm gonna
then I'm
shock you
done.
now. I don't always clean pens in between inkings, even
I
when I
know,
change colors.
I
Like
know, and I
like I
have adopted
recently,
that
yeah.
philosophy.
I'm just like, okay, now I have hybrid diamine eclat de saphir, kind of purpley dark blue. I'm okay. It'll
Mhm.
eventually look pure, and
Yeah.
in a few fillings. I just sometimes don't care. Although it's hard sometimes when people ask what color ink was that, and I have to tell them it's an amalgam.
Yeah. So it's because these are all going away for at least a couple weeks until after
Mhm.
Christmas.
Ah,
And I don't like putting dirty pens away. When I pull something
yeah,
out,
I
I
agree with
want it to
that.
be
If you
clean.
know they're going away,
Yeah.
yeah,
When
I
I pull,
agree.
yeah. I like my pens being clean when I pull them out.
Do you have any fountain pens on your Christmas list?
I bought myself my grail,
Oh, what
one
is
of my
that?
grails for Christmas.
Do I know about this? No,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
that you
this.
know about this.
I do?
I guess I can tell the 600 the 165 people watching what I got for myself for Christmas before
Sure.
my family
And
knows.
more people in the replay. Go ahead.
um, a local store to me had one of their
You're
patrons.
getting thumbs up for it, by the way.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Um, come in and ask if they'd consign their entire pen collection
Okay.
because he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's and
Hmm.
his children didn't want the pen collection.
Oh, wow. That's
Uh,
rough.
yeah. Um, on the other hand, I got a Mont Blanc for Christmas.
Oh, very
An
nice.
absolute steal. And as somebody who does not have the income for the hobby she is in,
Mm.
uh, YouTube money bought me a Mont Blanc for Christmas, which was very nice.
That is very nice. Good for you.
So, yeah.
And you deserve it. And it's good to have some heavy hitters, I think. But you know that you don't have to spend a lot of money. to enjoy this
No,
hobby. Which Mont Blanc is it, or do you not want to get that
it
specific?
it's a 146. It's
Ah,
an ebonite feed. It's the
very
single
nice.
tone gold nib.
Yeah, that's
So
brilliant. I think that's probably the perfect fountain pen. And I say that the Sailor 1911L is very, very similar, if not
oh yeah,
identical. And I think they're both. I mean, the Mont Blanc gets the edge just because it's a piston filler, which I prefer. My 147 is the same, but
yeah,
it's that carriage. But that proportion in my hand, it just feels so right.
oh yeah. And it was, I'd always said that the only Mont Blanc I was going to get was a Bohème. I
Oh, yeah,
love
yeah. That's an
I
interesting one.
I love the Bohème. Um but it was a price I couldn't pass up, and I had friends that were able to authenticate it for me after the store had already brought in somebody to authenticate them for them.
Oh, nice.
Um and so
That's great.
sort of
Are you good?
felt like a treat to end off this year.
Sincerely. And you've earned
Yeah.
it. You're doing great with the channel and everything else, and you'll be able to record and express yourself through that pen.
Yeah.
I'm looking for another 146 myself. Mine has a calligraphy nib,
Oh.
which I like, but I want a regular one now. But then I have a 147, which is essentially the same thing.
I
But
I can put you
still,
in touch with the shop in Toronto. He
oh,
has,
that's nice. I
if
appreciate.
you if you want vintage, because they've
Well,
got.
I want, but I don't want now. Like I am on a hiatus
Okay.
until May if I can pull
All
this
right.
off.
All right.
Now,
Oh, yeah, I know what you got. Never mind.
yeah, I got
Yeah.
the Wes Anderson pen, and I'm really trying to make that work. But then I'm cheating because the pen that I reviewed for Thursday's video, I asked Yost Appleboom for it, and he sent it. I'm like, hey, I really like that pen. Would you send me one? I'd love to do it. And he's like,
Pens from
okay,
brands
sure.
don't count. Pens
What's
from
that?
brands don't. If you didn't actually
Yeah.
pay for the pen, it doesn't count.
No, that's
That's
true, but it kind of does. Like if you're saying you're on hiatus and then you're just
no,
kind of.
it really doesn't. Because
The Wes
like,
Anderson's going to be interesting. And it's funny because nobody will probably even care about it but me. But I'm really glad I
oh,
did it.
oh, I care so much about it.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
I It is such a fun pen, and I think it's great.
Have you seen the commercials that he's directed?
I have.
I don't know how to do it, but I want to emulate those somehow for my review. I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off, but I either need a set or I need a very Wes Anderson looking place
Mm.
and very symmetrical. But I'm kind of excited for that.
I think you'll be able to pull it off. I'm hoping the ink set that they come out with it is exceptional, because that's sort of where my price range for actually shopping at the store exists.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that.
And
Um, yeah, go ahead.
I think they'll I think they should put out something good ink wise.
I hope so. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they aren't. I like
Mm.
the Round the World in 80 Days ink. Um, it's pretty nice. And it suits the pen. I still need to film with both of those, and I haven't. And I have the mini Lockbee field journal, which is better than the big size one. I haven't filmed with that yet. I'm so behind.
I think I'm only behind on filming with pens.
Hmm.
They're just a couple pens. And most of the pens that I have to film with are pens that Canada Post is on strike, but so, FedEx FedEx
Oh,
is the
that's
only mail
right.
carrier still delivering, because UPS and Purelator have both stopped accepting packages for Canada. So I've got pens that were supposed to be sent to me from brands in the States and other countries for review. And they're going, we have no way to get them to you. And I'm like,
That's
great,
such a shame.
I will book space when they show up.
Yeah, that's a shame. But
Yeah,
not much you can do, sadly.
nope. Yeah.
You know, just to hit on a few more things for people watching for the topic, drawing with fountain pens is splendid because you get such a beautiful ink flow, especially extra fines, with getting some nice detail too. I think that's a great way to integrate. And I was doing a bit of that in Italy when I would sit at cafes and things with my daughter, and my daughter really took to journaling. She just completed her first journal, which is amazing. And we bought her one at a leather shop near the Pantheon in Rome. And it's a little black journal about this big leather cover and has an eye for Imogen on it. And she was drawing some of the surroundings. And so I was over by the cats. That's what she liked because where Caesar was assassinated, the history doesn't interest her yet, but the cats do.
Cats do.
Yep. So, but that was brilliant. So I think drawing is a good thing, and
one thing we haven't touched on that I don't know that you actually own that I adore is Quaco and a couple other brands put out fountain pen highlighters.
Oh, that's cool.
And Pelikan has a great fountain pen highlighter ink.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. I didn't even know such a thing existed.
I use this it's rare that this isn't inked up. I had accidentally left it uncapped on my desk for a couple hours and it had dried up. And so I had to clean the feed. But it's a 1.9 millimeter stub nib.
Wow, they're pretty wide.
Fantastic. I use it all the time. And I don't know where the highlighter ink is. I rearranged.
No, that's cool. I don't really highlight. I can't remember the last time I highlighted something. But I think it's really cool, though.
Yeah. And it glows under black light.
That's fantastic.
It's totally random. But it's one of those things that I bought the ink as a gimmick, and I bought the pen as a gimmick, and I use all the time.
Wow. Have you filmed with it?
I think I filmed a video of like unboxing the pen, but I don't know.
Oh, you should film with that. That would be a great video. Do you ever see any of those YouTube videos that are like poetry in the slow life? And it's like, here in Canada, it gets very cold this time of year. I love to be at home and be cozy and use my highlighter fountain pen to highlight sections of Sylvia Plath. See, I could write this whole video for you.
If you script, here's the deal. If you script this entire video, I will.
And I'll even have camera direction. Camera pans in. Alexandra in the garden picking berries, wild berries, the last of the berries.
Right now we've got 2.5 feet of snow on the ground.
There you go. I'm sure there's some berries there. You can make your way. But that's part of the slow life. And those videos, they're all the same and they're all incredible. And they're all very aesthetic and they usually use very warm tones. And at some point, somebody cooks. Somebody has to cook. It's a rule in those videos. But you could use your highlighter maybe in a cookbook and then you could cook. And then it could be a whole nother sub-channel for you. And it could be like directed and written by Hemingway Jones. Because like I'd like to do it, but it'd be really strange if I did it. Maybe here in Massachusetts, it gets wicked cold here in Massachusetts. It just doesn't hit the same way.
It's not wicked cold here.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the same way. It's not as aesthetic when I do it. But that's good. One thing I wanted to mention. Because believe it or not, we're running out of time, which is really sad how quickly these hours go. But, and the sponsors, they want us off in an hour. I'm just kidding. But the ephemera that you find in books, I'm obsessed with. So I am a library nerd, and I spend a lot of time in libraries, you guys know, because I film there all the time. And I love going through books and finding something that somebody left in there. Especially if it's handwritten, if it's like a laundry list, or I've seen love notes in there. I've seen obscene drawings. I've seen receipts and notes and all kinds of great stuff. Usually used as bookmarks, I imagine. But I just love that stuff. Even walking around. Have you ever noticed anything like that, or am I crazy?
No, you're not. Where I grew up in a family where everyone, like, I can't think of a single cookbook in this house that does not have its margins filled with notes
Oh, it's
and
nice.
then things taped into it. Um, it's rare. It's rare to pick up or flip to a recipe in a cookbook in this house and there not to be notes of some sort.
No, it's good.
But
I like that. And
those
if it
are,
gets dispersed out in the world, it
yeah,
becomes ephemera.
growing up, the rules were strict. You did not write in books other than cookbooks. And for whatever reason, cookbooks was the pass. Like, you were allowed to make notes in cookbooks.
Well, that's
And
good. I don't usually write
that
in
has
books. There's one
that has
book I did.
continued to my adult life where I only make notes in cookbooks.
Well, that's good. I annotated a Seamus Hanley's Beowulf because I was going to do a video on it. And I just haven't got around to it yet.
So when I would read print books pre-brain injury, I would annotate with colored sticky notes.
Oh,
Like
yes.
the flag sticky notes, but never write directly on the book.
Oh, that's good. This was a paperback. I didn't feel so bad. If it was a hardcover first edition, it'd be entirely different.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
This is fun, right?
This was a great time.
It was very mellow. We should have had tea. We could have had tea. We could have done the slow life live. The camera pans in.
Next time.
We could make apple crisps. They always make apple crisp. And then they talk, I can smell the apples as they bake, giving a Christmas scent to my warm, cozy abode, nestled in the valley in the mountains, where the sheep are, and where the river flows lazily beneath the icy surface.
I'm not even going to tell you how many apple crisps we've made this year.
Nice. We did blueberry for Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
That was bold.
Yeah,
you have to watch which shirt you wear when you eat that.
You do. We do apple. We're very picky on our apples. If I say Cortland apples, do you know what they are?
Of course. I'm in Massachusetts. I have an apple tree in my yard. I am actually in apple country. When people go apple picking, they come here.
So are we.
Yeah, see, there you go. We probably have similar geographies.
Yep.
It explains our choice of clothing.
It does. Cortland's for pies and baking, spies for applesauce and other stuff.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, we are at the end of a very long journey that was very lovely and beautiful and went quickly. And I enjoyed every minute of it. I hope you did.
I did. And to address, there's just been a comment that there has to be a fireplace. I'm not even gonna. I'm looking at a fireplace.
Yeah, not me. I'm looking at a typewriter right now in front of me, and a Venetian Carnival mask.
Yeah.
Explains a lot. But anyway, we'll do this again soon. Actually, on your channel next, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, you're on the channel. I want to say you're on the channel next week.
I think so. Yeah, we didn't plan that well, did we? We're gonna step on each other's toes, but that's all right.
Yeah, okay.
It's
been a week. Desk chatter by Saturday. Desk chatter will be planned.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'll be ready.
Theoretically, there's a desk chatter episode tomorrow night. I don't even know that we've got a topic.
See,
I know that we've got a topic for your show.
Oh yeah. So do I.
So,
very nice.
I think So, this was lovely.
Thank you. It was great having you, and I'll have you back again. I want to thank everyone for watching, and check out the new video this Thursday. It's a lot of fun. It's very bombastic, full of action, adventure, intrigue. So I think you'll enjoy that. And lots of new videos coming up, guys. It's only going to get better from here. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you've reached this point, an hour in. You have to subscribe. It's not something I made up. It's actually Alexandra, and she'll get very upset if you don't. And you don't want to see her angry. You wouldn't like her when she's angry.
I would enjoy if you came over to my channel to subscribe too, but like, you
don't yeah, that's true too. Yeah, and I will mention that. Follow Alexandra wherever you can find her. She's on YouTube, Alexandra's Art and Sanity. She's on Instagram, and she's very active there too. So you put up a lot of stories.
Yeah, so my Instagram I haven't been able to post on Instagram for about it's probably 7 weeks now.
Because you were too controversial. They banned you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, randomly, like, my Instagram will not let me post for days, and so stories have become my thing.
Oh, weird. And there you go. I think I'm more stories than posts too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. So yes, follow her. She's very interesting, and she does a lot of watercolors, which I don't do. Yeah. So
I do a lot of painting.
A lot of painting. All right. So I can promise you, and I can promise you, Alexandra, we will see each other again very soon. Where? Do you know?
Probably next week.
Next week and further up the road. Oh, that's my sign off.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you like tomorrow, but like you're on my show next week.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. But it's a lot of fun. I can't wait to be on your show.
Yes. My show, which does not have a time limit. And so sometimes episodes are like 45 minutes and sometimes episodes are 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have a time limit either. It's just that I notice that if I keep it under an hour, I get exponentially more people watching.
Oh,
exponentially.
Sorry that I've screwed that up with.
No, it's not you. It's me. Now that we're over an hour, that's why I'm not really rushing to wrap it up, because now it just doesn't matter. But I usually try to cut it off at like 58. And also because it's good to be disciplined and kind of tidy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess we're going into overtime. And now I need to acknowledge Rob Morrison with a $5 super chat. Just subscribe to Alexandra. Thanks. Yay.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. And just gave me $5. Thank you to keep the lights on.
Keep Hemingway's lights on. Get me closer to 4,000. Oh, I'm like up by 25 since we started.
That's the power of Hemingway Jones right there, bringing people together.
I think you're still the most watched episode of Fountain Pen 20 Questions, I want to say.
I certainly hope so. I'll be very upset if somebody, because I'm both an egoist, narcissist, and a self-loather. So I'll hate everything I did on that episode, but if everyone doesn't watch it and love me, I won't like that either.
Oh, you are.
It's not easy being me. It really is.
You're still the most watched episode.
That's fantastic. That was a good episode. I really enjoyed that.
It was. It's a fun show to shoot.
Yeah. See, I need something like that. I mean, the live show to some extent is, but I need to work in more easy stuff. Because if I keep doing these high concept videos week after week, they're just too much. They take too much to edit. You know what I mean?
Apparently the chat thinks we need to do a 2-hour show.
Tonight?
Can we fill another hour of content?
Oh, easy. I could do it standing on my head. I mean, I barely went through the 13 things I had written down. I think I did like 7 of them.
I'm sure I can fill another hour.
Right. Maybe I'll just go. You can finish it. Yeah.
The Hemingway Jones Show brought to you by me.
Well, you know what would be fun? I was talking about this with my other good friend, Drew Brown. And I was saying,
Drew.
Yeah, I love him too. He's such a lovely guy. I was saying that we should do videos for each other's channel. So like I would do like, hi, I'm Drew Brown and you're you, and then just do it like him as best I can the whole time with a total straight face, no self-awareness that I'm not Drew Brown. And then do it in his style. And like, he always does he kind of like looks like that. So I'll do all that. And then I'll just send it to him and he can just post it. And just like a Drew Brown video. And then, of course, he has a new channel. His channel's a little different now than I was talking to him about this when he was, before.
Yeah.
And he would do the same. He would do a Hemingway Jones video and just be like, this is just my little corner of the internet and all that. It's Drew Brown, which I think would be brilliant. So that could happen one day.
Oh, I would absolutely adore if you or Drew or both of you did a video for my channel.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I enjoy stuff like that. And I would just do it because it doesn't often get done. I was talking to some other people too, trying to think of ways of collaborating where maybe I'm reviewing a pen and then I get their opinion.
Oh, that would be fun.
like let's see what Adventure Denali thinks about this pen, and then suddenly it's her,
Yeah.
or Jason.
Yeah. Mom and I briefly. I've sort of piloted a show that I never actually greenlit to the channel fully.
Okay.
Called Explain This to Me.
Oh.
Because whenever we're at a pen show, Mom will pull me aside many times and look at a pen and go, okay, why is it this expensive, or why does it look at that? I need you to explain this to me. The issue is I never have time to film multiple episodes of it at a pen show. So
yeah,
I need to figure out a way to do it virtually with things that friends have in their pen collection.
Oh, sure. I think you probably could, or you could use like this kind of software.
Yeah.
Can you get to Chicago? Is that hard for you?
It's not hard for me. I'm trying to find a sponsor for the Chicago Pen Show.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking very, very likely that I'm going to be at the sidewalk sale for Atlas this year.
Okay. I would love to go back to.
We could meet up.
I would love to go back to the sidewalk sale. I would love to go back to the Chicago Pen Show. My hotel for the Chicago Pen Show is booked, but I don't have a sponsor for 20 questions, and it's expensive for me and a second person to fly down.
Oh, yeah.
Without having a sponsor for the series.
Gotcha.
And so I'm hoping to find a brand that will at least partially sponsor the series in exchange for having title sponsorship of the series.
Yeah, wow. This is brought to you by Calgon.
Yeah.
Well, I have to bring my entire circus if I come. So it's like if I'm going to be at Atlas for a couple days, and I'll support Brendan and Atlas. I love those guys. Yeah. They're not just getting me. They're getting Helen. They're getting Imogen. And Imogen, it will out personality all of us on camera and stuff. So, that'll be grand. I think that's August. Plus, I've never been to Chicago, and I want to see the museums.
I think it's normally, I want to say the second or third weekend in August, maybe.
I think so. Like around like the 14th, 15th, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the plan.
It was a great time last year. It was a great time last year.
You can get there. I'll be there, more than likely.
I'm working on it.
It's good. I'm not going to DC. I've decided that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I've done it. It was a zoo, but it was a blast. I could be convinced otherwise. Like maybe if Drew were going and he's like, "Come on," I'd probably go.
That was basically how I got talked into Scriptus again this year. It was like, oh, Estabrook's going and I can work a booth. I guess I'm going.
Oh, that's fun. Where's Scriptus?
Toronto.
Oh, I love Canada. Toronto. There needs to be something in Quebec. That's my favorite part of Canada.
There's the Montreal Pen Show.
Quebec City. Can't they do something for me at Frontenac so I don't even have to leave the hotel? I'm lazy that way.
That's fair.
I didn't leave the DC hotel the whole time I was there, and the food was terrible, and the hotel was terrible. It was still a blast.
Yeah. Chicago switched their hotels this year. Hopefully it'll be better this year.
I hope so, because that's part of the fun for me. I think we've said it all.
I think we've said it all.
And plus, I've been going since early this morning. I'm going to go relax, but it's just so fun to talk to you. I could do it all night, but probably lost half of our audience. but
We're
that's okay.
we haven't actually lost that many people. Apparently, people like us randomly ranting about pen shows.
That's fantastic, because it's a lot of fun. You really learn who the nice people are and who aren't. Like I've met some people where I was like, whoa, like surprising. And I met some people that were just I felt instant kinship with.
Yeah, I would say by like morning 3 of Chicago, when we like everyone was tired, most people were sick, like we were in the thick of it. Um, you really knew like who was going to rally for the next like 36 hours of the rest of the show and who
Oh
was
yeah.
not.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. A lot of personalities come out at pen shows. A lot of fun. So, all right. We're going to have to say goodbye again.
I know.
It's not easy. It was a
But
blast.
you're on my show in a week and a day.
Yep. And I'm sure we'll chat on Instagram. But you're certainly welcome here anytime. And let's think of a really fun, original way to collaborate next year on some kind of a review where one of us just pops in randomly or something. I think that would be a blast.
Honestly, I'm pretty much like always game.
Cool. Because I like to keep
even if
things
I
fresh.
even if I don't own the pen, I can probably do enough internet research to at least like have an opinion.
Oh, sure. Well, we work something out.
Yeah,
We have the magic of technology, so
we do.
we do. So thank you, everyone, for being here, for watching, for everything you do. It's been an amazing ride for me on YouTube. It's just been great meeting everyone, making friends, and having some connections. This is what I was looking for. So I think that's the best part. What do you think? Why is that funny?
Oh, this is like standing at the front door for another 30 minutes before we leave. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Is that in the chat?
It's in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think people were getting used to me signing off after an hour or so. Alas.
Can you tell we talk to each other all the time?
Yeah, because a lot of times I don't know people that come on, and it gets kind of awkward. Like sometimes there's dead silence and I have to fill it. And then other times there's people like Brendan, who I also talk to all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He hasn't been on like a year. I got to get him back on.
Brendan's been so busy.
He don't make time for me.
That's true. But
Yeah.
like they've been opening a new store. Or they've been opening the upstairs. They bought the upstairs. Like,
Oh, very nice. I didn't know that.
yeah. They now have offices that aren't in the stock room.
Oh, he had art in the back. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. I'll have to reach out to him. All right. I'm just droning. So thank you all. Subscribe to both of us. Her, him. It's reverse, so I always screw that up. It's this one. Subscribe to her. It's impolite to point. But, Alexandra Art and Sanity. Don't miss it. It's a great channel. So thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, everyone. See you further up the road. This was super fun. Bye-bye.
Bye.